again. So Bitcoin is falling a little bit more today, and I have a game plan for the next 24 to 36 hours, which you're going to want to hear about. The Fed meeting, yes, the FOMC meeting, the one where we're expecting an increase, a liftoff in interest rates, kicks off today with a two-day event, March the 15th, March the 16th. At the end of the meeting tomorrow, we will get a statement from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to announce what we're expecting to be the first increase in interest rates. So what am I doing? What's so special about these next 24 to 36 hours? I'm going to break that down for you in this video, so make sure you watch till the very end. Hit the like button, subscribe. Don't forget, these videos are brought to you by NordVPN, who've been kind enough to make sure we're staying safe in crypto. Check out the link in the description. But what is going on? Well, at the time of recording, we've got European markets falling. You've got the DAX down 1.14%. You've got 0.8% here, FTSE in London where I am. And then the CAC, you're down 1% as well, as Ukraine issues continue to worry markets, right? Kiev set for 35-hour curfew after missile strikes, EU delegation traveling to Ukraine. Things don't seem to be getting better just yet. We spoke about yesterday, Russia nears a debt default limit, which now can start raising fears around possible contagion, because a lot of countries' banks own or have exposure to Russian sovereign debt, okay? So some of these sanctions will backfire. We spoke about that. Governments are aware, but at the same time, they need to impose these sanctions in order to send a statement and send a message. But economically, it's going to have an impact on the home countries as well. Pre-market is showing that the Dow is flat, you've got the S&P flat and the Nasdaq flat. I'm fully expecting this to be a yo-yo day today, guys. I'll be very surprised if today doesn't show a little bit of volatility, and I expect the VIX index to tick up somewhat as well. It's the first day of the FOMC meeting, a big meeting over the next 36 hours or so, leading up to what we're expecting to be our first 25% basis point interest rate hike. So for me, what I'm doing is I'm nibbling, I'm buying. I put a message out into our Discord yesterday saying I'm a buyer right now. I think this is peak FUD. I think this is peak fear right now in the market, whether you're looking geopolitically, whether you're looking from a macroeconomic point of view in terms of inflation and interest rate hike. I see this as possibly being one of the bottoms right now. I could be wrong. There could be moves to the downside. But when I look pound for pound or dollar for dollar, wherever you are, when I look at it, I'm seeing projects which are super cheap, and I cannot refuse to be picking these up, particularly when you can see the market has already 97% priced in a 0.25% interest rate hike tomorrow. Anything less than that, which we're not expecting, right? We're expecting something in terms of an interest rate hike, and the market will rally. If we get 0.5%, if we get a double rate hike, we will see lower lows. We will get more downside, and I'm prepared for that eventuality. Remember, always have a game plan for every eventuality. I'm prepared to nibble a bit more. That is why the words I'm using are nibble. I'm not saying I'm going all out. I'm not saying I'm going heavy. I'm just nibbling some more, because for me, this is peak fear right now. You can see the Ukraine issues. You can see the macroeconomics. We've had 5 straight weeks of, the markets being down, which is pretty bad. I mean, if we head on over, what I'm going to do is we've seen Bitcoin plenty, but what I'm going to show you is look at the S&P. If you look at the S&P, this is a long period of time from the highs on the 4th of Jan. It's been getting wrecked. If we look at the QQQ, which is the Nasdaq, you can see the same, just been getting absolutely wrecked. And even if you zoom out, you can see this is a big correction now, right? There's no avoiding it. This is a big correction. This was your fall in COVID. This is a big correction to the downside as well, okay? So we're getting there. We're getting to that kind of peak mentality. A lot of people are scared. Nobody's talking about crypto. Nobody wants to be buying stocks right now. In fact, everybody's still panic selling. And for me, that's where I like to be a little bit of a contrarian. Not for being a contrarian's sake. That's not the purpose here. The purpose here is to continue to find projects which I believe in that I want to top up on. And one of those, of course, is always Bitcoin, right? Whenever I get the opportunity to buy a little bit of more Bitcoin, I want to be jumping in and getting me some more. And you can see exactly as we predicted, guys. We had the breakout of trend to the upside. I said until March the 16th, we drew the blue lines here. We're going to get volatility. We're going to have false starts. Those were my exact words. And that's exactly what we've had, right? False start after false start, rallying in between about 37,000 and 44,500 at the top of the wedge here as well. So for me, at the bottom of the wedge is a great point. Now, not financial advice, we could easily fall to the bottom of the wedge, and I'm comfortable with that. If we fell to 33 and 32, I'm comfortable with that for all of the tokens which I'm going to say I'm purchasing, okay? That's just something I'm willing to risk, because if we do fall to the downside, I know the bottom of the wedge takes you to 32, 33, and I'm aware of it, okay? That's very important. So we've spoken about phantom, at length here on this channel. If you've not watched my Phantom video from yesterday, go watch that. I continue to nibble in more. We're now lower than the low of 115, which we hit when Bitcoin was at 32.33. You've now got Bitcoin at 38, closer to 39, which if we get a rally tomorrow, we could push through 40,000 and really start to move on as the economy goes, hang on a second, that interest rate wasn't that hard, right? It wasn't that bad. We're okay. And then the market can slowly but surely start heading to risk on. So there's a possibility of that happening, and that's not something we want to miss. So you can definitely see Phantom is super low right now. We know the Andre Cronje FUD has helped push this to the downside. I've made plenty of videos covering that off. If you've not watched them, I'll leave them linked up here somewhere for you to go and catch up on. But $1.05 on Phantom is an absolute crazy price, considering this is something that's run up to $3.50 almost. It's an absolute no-brainer. Let's keep it moving. We've got so many other projects which I can list. I'm just going to touch upon a few. You guys know I'm a big fan of Matic. This trio for me is an absolute no-brainer to be nibbling. For me, where I'm nibbling, these are the kind of projects I'm looking at where you can see we're hugely suppressed here. $1.35 here on Matic versus highs of $2.90. And I'm sticking to my narratives, right? You guys know I focus on narratives, not necessarily not necessarily what people are chasing after in the news, right? I just want to focus on projects which I know are going to be there, which are solid narratives. And for me, the layer 2 space continues to be needed. It's a necessary space to be operating in. We know Ethereum's still full of congestion. We know there's no ETH 2.0 just yet around the corner. We can see that projects like Matic in a bull run will continue to move from strength to strength. Likewise, something like Polkadot, a tried and tested project which has been through bull markets and bear markets before, now sitting at levels which is, you know, super low. $17 here on Polkadot is an absolute no-brainer from highs of 54. Okay, so definitely another one that I'm looking to nibble on. And then you've got something like Chainlink. Again, a solid project now at lows below the low of July 21 when Bitcoin was at $29,000. This is crazy. We're $10,000 up from that point on Bitcoin, holding quite strongly relatively on Bitcoin. But things like Chainlink have fallen to the downside. And again, in terms of a data oracle play, who would you head to as a de facto leader in that space? Who's got the best partnerships? Who's got the best integrations? Still Chainlink. So you best believe when people are building more smart contracts and the bull run is running, where's this project going to go? It's at least going to go back to its all-time highs, and that's why this is another one that I'm looking to pick up on. But the ultimate thing is this, and that is, it doesn't matter which coin you're looking to buy right now. As long as you're going into high conviction plays, I think the whole market is really in peak FUD right now. It's been smashed. It's taken a hit for a long time. People are not buying right now. If anything, they're selling. And that is why, for me, not financial advice, just something I'm doing. I'm continuing to nibble on my high conviction plays because the bang for your buck you're getting right now, if you've got conviction and you're willing to take another 10-15% down from this point, absolute no-brainer. For me, the way I like to think about it, there is far more upside to be had here than there is risk to the downside. I think we're closer to a bottom than we are a top, right? Take Bitcoin. Do you think you're closer to the bottom? What do you think the bottom is for Bitcoin? If you take the previous bull run high at about $20,000, you're about $18,000 from that point, right? $18,000. So do you think the top of Bitcoin is only $18,000 from it? That doesn't even take you to the previous highs. Previous highs is 69,000. You've got a big arbitrage to be had here to the upside in a green space that's been hit before. Right? Bitcoin's hit $69,000 before. This is not going into unknown, uncharted territory, right? We know Bitcoin can run to 69,000. We know the altcoins, which are high conviction plays, which are solid, which have been here, done that, are those which can run equally to the upside. Definitely for me, that's my game plan right now. I think this peak FUD is there. I fully expect Jerome Powell to be coming out tomorrow with a 25% interest rate hike. He's pretty much shown his hand. It'll be very shocking if he had no interest rate hike. And it will be very shocking if he has a double rate hike. So we have to be prepared for those. You guys have to be aware that those are a possibility. But as far as I'm concerned, he showed his hand that he's doing a 25% interest rate hike tomorrow. I think the market will take that in its stride. Now, the big caveat is that we never know what's going on with the war. And I said this again in our Discord community yesterday. If you want the updates from me in Discord, make sure you click the link in the pinned comment below. To get you access to our free public Discord server. Loads of people in there, like-minded people. You can tag me with questions. I give my updates there first to the community, sometimes when I'm unable to make a video at that moment. So it's really useful for you to be in there and part of the conversation. But what I said to the Discord members was the bit we cannot figure out is the war. We can get this whole interest rate hike right. You can have a 25% rate hike tomorrow and the market can start rallying, and there could be an escalation in the conflict. Putin can say something, Putin could do something, NATO could do something. Something could happen which could escalate that bit. So as always, with investments, you have to be prepared for the upside and the downside. It doesn't matter what your chart patterns are telling you when you have such big macroeconomic, geopolitical issues going on, which can sway your investments either way. So I'm nibbling. I'm prepared for more downside. If there is more downside, I'm not going all in. I'll still have a little bit of cash ready to pick up some more if I need to on my high conviction plays. But I'm fully expecting we're close. We're very close to a bottom right now. We've had such suppressed pricing for so long. There's a lot of cash waiting on the sidelines, and that money will come in once the market is given an opportunity to feel positive and start turning back to risk on. As always, guys, if you appreciate these videos, you appreciate this blend between technicals and fundamentals, sprinkled with a bit of macroeconomics, smash up the like button and subscribe. What I'm going to do is I'm link up my video yesterday on what I'm doing with Phantom for those interesting. So check out that video so you know exactly what I'm doing with Phantom as a reminder, because time is short. We've got this period now while the FOMC meeting is today and tomorrow, and then the market's really going to start to move once that announcement is made tomorrow. No doubt we'll cover that here on the channel too. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.